Welcome to Damn Good Movie Memories with your host, Brian Davis. This podcast is the cure for your long commute and super boring workday.
Hey there, it's Brian Davis, and for this week's episode, it's a very special episode. That's right, it's episode number 50, which means I've been doing this for a full year. I would be crazy to think that after 50 episodes, or after when I first did the first episode, that we'd be up to episode 50. I didn't think it would last this long. So thank you to everyone that has listened, that enjoys this podcast, and that continues to listen, because it's a lot of fun for me. I hope it's a lot of fun for you guys to listen to. In addition, this is a special episode because, as the title says, we're not discussing the Robert De Niro, Ben Stiller movie. We're going to actually meet Brian Davis's parents, Bob and Joanne, and we're going to talk to them about how I became this little idiot that had his own podcast. And we're going to discuss their many of the topics we've covered in the past and get their take on the interviews we've done over the past 50 episodes. Basically, my mom is the one that really got me into movies. She's the one that would take us every weekend to rent films, many of the films I've discussed on this podcast. So I have to thank her for really making me love and appreciate movies. And, of course, my dad is the creative one that, comes up with all these great ideas. And so if there's any creativity in me, I probably got it from my dad. Speaking of being creative, his current passion, his current quote-unquote job right now is he's an author, and he has had 3 of his own books published, all of them on Amazon and ebooks, so go check them out. It's under Robert M. Davis. Check up When the Enemy Is You, that is his current book. Check out The Ticker, which is my personal favorite, and Will to Kill. All of these are great thriller mysteries, and if you enjoy this podcast, you enjoy hearing what my dad has to say, check him out and support people who release books independently. And he's on a small publishing label, and it's available on Amazon. You should definitely check him out because, you got to support people that do creative things. All right, so let's first talk. Let's first replay my parents' first episode when they appeared, which was, what was the first movie you saw in a theater? And then we'll get into their regular interviews.
You just waved your hand at me. Yeah. What does that mean?
That means, what is your name, sir?
Today?
Yes.
It's Robert M. Davis.
And what does the M stand for?
Money.
Well, there you go. So speaking of money, what was the first movie you paid to go see in the theater?
That I paid?
Yeah. Which is different than actually the first movie you actually saw.
I think it was called Hot Cross Buns.
Was that an adult film?
Then, yes.
Yeah. So
now it would be rated PG.
Probably. So what was the first movie you actually saw in a theater that you didn't have to pay for?
Well, I remember, as we have talked about, Them.
Okay, and Them...
Them is a bunch of giant ants.
And do you remember who actually starred in the movie?
I think it was James Whitmore. Mm-hmm. Only because you gave me the movie a couple of years ago I could...
Which then stole my other question was, have you seen it since? And does it hold up as well as when you first saw it? Yeah.
No, it was much better.
When you were a kid?
It was much more frightening.
I also think, who was the guy in Gunsmoke?
James Arness.
He was in it, wasn't he? Or what? I don't know. I'd have to look back. I'd have to go back.
Oh, you're supposed to know all the answers.
Oh, well, he played the Thing.
He did?
So I do know that. I know he was in Gunsmoke.
How tall was he?
That I don't know.
6'6".
Yeah, he's pretty... This is why I have you. I can also check the internet. So, okay. So
you are checking the internet. Yeah, so the outer net.
So how much do you think the movie cost back then?
Back then, it was either a quarter or 50 cents.
And do you remember if there
Because I'm old. Yeah. You want to count the rings around me?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't even think half our audience can understand what you mean by that. So yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll talk trees.
Okay, well, there you go. Do you remember if there was a feature film before that?
It was probably a cartoon.
Okay, but you don't remember that?
No.
Okay.
No, it could have been Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse was really big then.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, all right. And do you remember...
That's it? I want more.
That's it. No, I mean, this could be a 30-hour show.
I thought I was starring in this.
Well, we'll see what we place you. So, thank you.
You're welcome. What was your name again?
Yeah, goodbye.
My name's Joanne Davis, and the first movie I think that I saw was The Wizard of Oz. And that probably was around probably 1953.
And then how much do you think the movie ticket cost back then?
Oh, well, I remember going to the show and it was like 25 cents. 10 cents for popcorn, 5 cents for a drink, usually 10 cents for what they used to call them. They were lollipops and they were called charms, and they were like 10 cents, and they'd come in different colors, grape and everything. Oh, it was great.
So do you remember if there were, was there a movie before that, or was there a cartoon?
Oh, yeah, usually they had the news. Mm-hmm. It was newsreel. Then they'd definitely have cartoons. Mm-hmm. And then the main attraction. So, and sometimes they even have intermission. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
So how many times do you think you've actually seen The Wizard of Oz total?
Oh man. Well, I'd have to say 400 times at least, maybe. Yeah, because then it was one of my favorites. And then it became so popular that every Thanksgiving they always used to show it on TV. Mm-hmm. So, especially when you're up in the age now that I am, it's been a long time. Yeah.
And you actually acted in a play?
Yes, yeah. I did. My favorite part was The Wicked Witch of the East, and I enjoyed that so much. Played that in high school, and we did it for... it was a school that came on a Saturday, and we presented it. And, I was the Wicked Witch of the East. That was great.
See, the villains are always more fun to play.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay, for this week's episode, I have two very special guests. And the reason they're special is, without them, there would be no Damn Good Movie Memories, because there would be no host for Damn Good Movie Memories. And it's my parents, Bob and Joanne. How are you guys?
Okay.
Wonderful.
And as my dad would always say, how are you really?
Even better.
No, usually he says, today?
Yeah, today, how are you?
Everybody knows my lines now.
Well, let's see. We're hopefully get a bunch of lines out of you in this episode, so we'll see. All right, so what we're going to do is what I've done with other guests that have their own show, like Dr. Dave. We're just going to go through all of the episodes, all the questions in the episodes that you haven't answered. You were on the very first episode, so if the listeners want to go back and listen to that, they can, which was, what was the very first movie that you saw in a theater?
And I made a mistake in that.
It wasn't Wizard of Oz?
It was The Wizard of Oz, but the Wicked Witch wasn't of the East.
Yeah.
It was the West. Yeah, and I kept saying, and the Wicked Witch of the East. And it wasn't. It was, and you should have. I should have known.
You're your own worst critic. Yeah. I don't think anyone noticed. Okay, so the first question we'll go through is, what is your favorite? Before I get into this, actually.
So let's go into. Nobody really cared if it was east, west, north, or south. You could have lied. You did lie, and you got away with it.
No, I didn't lie. I made a mistake, but it wasn't a lie.
This is, our last name are the Bickersons.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, I want to thank both of you for getting me into the movies. So, Mom actually did the job of made me appreciate movies by renting all the films and getting me into movies at a young age, like in the 80s. But I have to thank Dad for actually buying the VCR. And how did you get that the very first VCR?
I had a lucky streak playing poker. Yeah.
In Tahoe?
In Reno.
In Reno, okay. And then you came back and we bought the very first VCR, which I believe was 1984.
That was like $800.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So from that, my love of movies began because of repeat viewing, and also thanks to the 1,000-pound video camera that you guys had. You learned how to dub from that into the VCR so we could bootleg a lot of the video recordings we had.
Are we going to get arrested?
I hope not. All right, from that, so thank you guys for getting me into movies, which eventually has led to this.
I never realized where he came from. One day he was just here. And he was playing Neil Diamond
Yeah.
with his underwear on the outside.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering why I came here too, because I'm about 5 inches taller than both of you.
I wondered about that also.
So.
But everybody does say you look like me, Brian.
Well, that's
so
good. Yeah.
there's the resemblance is there from somebody.
From something.
Yeah.
From the Wicked Witch of the East.
Yeah, right. Or the West, or the North, or whatever it was.
Okay, so going on with the scary theme, what is your guys' favorite scary movie or horror movie? And so Mom can go first.
Well, I'm going to go with the first one that
Okay.
I saw with my dad. It was at the Laurel Theater.
In St. Carlos, California.
In St. Carlos, yeah. And it was The Thing.
The original from 1951 with
Yes.
James
Yeah.
Arness played The Thing.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And that was scary
Mhm.
at that time. I mean, they've redone it since with
I think it was Jeff
Kurt-
Bridges. Or Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
And, it's all blood and gore now. But back then, it was scary, even though when you look at it, sometimes it looks kind of hokey.
Right. It's a lot slower than most horror movies now,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
It's a slow
Was that
burn.
really considered horror?
Yeah, it's like sci-fi horror.
But
Yeah.
they didn't call it horror then.
No, I think it was like a sci-fi movie.
Probably.
And again, this is scary /
Yeah.
horror movie. So.
Yeah. So
That's
that
not what it
was
says on
scary.
my notes.
You didn't prepare. Mom prepared.
Oh. I looked at her notes.
Okay. So that's
So
the thing.
The
from-
thing, and then the other one was, I remember going to the movies with Dad, my dad. I guess my mom didn't like these
Scary.
movies. I don't know. She liked the musicals and things
Maybe
like
he
that.
wouldn't pay for her.
No. Them, which was about
Well, that was Dad's first movie.
the giant ants
Yeah.
because of the bombs went off.
You
and
stole
all
that from me.
No, but anyway.
Yeah, but that's not your favorite, is it? What's your favorite scary
Well,
movie?
that was the first movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's your favorite scary movie?
I have no favorite scary movie. I would think that my first really scary movie,
Yeah.
because even though I'm afraid of ants today
Right,
because of
them.
them, Psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember last time you didn't know who was sitting next to me.
Mm-hmm.
It was your uncle.
That jumped out of his seat?
Yeah, we both did at the same time.
Which
He was
one?
a little older. He went higher
So was that the shower scene or the detective going up the stairs?
up the stairs.
Okay. And then what we think is Mrs. Bates, it's really Norman running at him with a knife.
Well, now you spoiled it.
Yeah, I know. And so you didn't get scared by when he turned her around and she's the skeleton?
Not like the stairs scene.
Really? Yeah. Interesting. So do you remember, and according to legend, Hitchcock made sure that all theater owners locked the doors after the movie started. So did that really happen?
Do they see that I'm nodding my head?
Yeah, no. Yeah, this is radio, by the way, or audio. So you do remember them making sure that nobody could come in after the movie started?
No,
Because
I didn't know that until you told me.
Okay.
Well, no, but they used to announce a lot of times with a preview type thing that people wouldn't be allowed after the movie started.
Mhm.
You just didn't.
And you would have intermissions, too.
Yeah.
So do you remember seeing any of the William Castle movies, like The Tingler or movies like that in the theater?
I didn't go and see that because they rigged some of the
The
theaters.
seats to move,
Yes,
yeah.
to move, and was that.
That's kind of fun, though, that they did stuff like that. But
Yeah.
Well, they rigged the food.
And how?
On the movie,
Uh-huh.
if you did it one clip at a time, you would actually see popcorn.
Oh, the subliminal food
Oh,
messages?
yeah.
Right. Which we didn't know anything about.
Did it? I guess it worked.
Another good one though
yeah.
too was I remember going. No, this was when I was in
Is
high
that
school.
on your notes?
No.
Oh.
Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte
Ooh,
with Betty Davis.
Uh-huh.
And
family member.
that was really, and I remember going with a bunch of us, Sharon, Benora, Margotti at that time, and a group of us, and we were all sat there. And half of us had our eyes closed, and then the scary parts, you could hear the screams. That was a good
Did
one.
you like that better than Whatever Happened to Baby Jane?
That was a good one too,
Yeah.
especially when the rat, when they
Yeah.
shoot. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to get into one scary subject to another. What was the worst movie you saw on a date, and what was the worst date you had at a movie? I think I know yours.
That was the one.
The silent movie?
Yes,
with Mel Brooks. Yeah.
I fell asleep.
So was it the movie?
And I don't know if the date woke me up or not.
He left you there?
No, but I know we left before the movie was over.
Maybe your snoring woke him up.
Possibly. Yeah, that was.
So that was the worst movie you saw. Was that also the worst date you had at a movie?
No, the date was okay.
Well, you slept right through.
Yeah, that's what he said too, right?
Okay, so what about yours?
I never had one.
Well, what? No, that's not true. You said Bruce McCloud.
Oh, I can talk about that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we walked out of Brewster McCloud.
Yeah, which you have bought for me on DVD this past Christmas. I enjoyed it. I thought it was
I
quirky.
thought you would.
Yeah, it's quirky.
It's kind of a cult movie now.
Well, if someone hasn't seen it, so the initial premise is this guy who is actually the lead character in Harold and Maude, the man or the boy, has this fascination with birds, and he wants to become a bird. And every time he seems to get into trouble, he has this bird that seems to protect him. But every time that something's going to happen to the kid, the bird craps on whoever the potential victim is. So that's kind of the shtick throughout the film. But yeah. Anyway, all right. Your favorite movie villain? Either one of you.
Well, I can't think of. I'll have to say the Wicked Witch of the East.
Wait, the West.
Or the West, or whatever.
Still can't get it right.
Still can't get it right. That's old age for you. You can't remember. She was a good. She always played that good part of the villain.
And she never could live it down, even when you saw her.
No, it's really sad. Yeah. Well, she wasn't the best looking.
Well, she was perfect for the role.
She was a good character actress,
Well, as we found out from Kevin Smokler, is she was actually loved animals, and so she would be on those Humane Society, even though commercials, even though she was trying to get rid of Toto in the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
So, what's your favorite villain?
I have no favorite.
So you're just here for comic relief from Mom.
The other guy.
We could have Uncle Daryl on.
No.
The old movies. The guy that Bela Lugosi. He always played that good.
Boris Karloff.
And Boris Karloff. They,
I know you guys always liked Ming the Merciless.
Oh, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you brought
Flash
that up.
Gordon.
He was my favorite. He had the greatest villain voice.
Mm-hmm. And I can't think of his name right now, but
It's Ming.
It's Ming. But he was also in a Laurel and Hardy movie when they were in the Foreign Legion.
Yes,
he played the Foreign Legion guy.
But he wasn't.
My mom is furiously looking for her VHS tape of Flash Gordon serials. Glad we keep it old school here. All right, this one you probably already answered. What's your favorite Hitchcock movie?
I would say The Birds.
Really, over Psycho?
Yeah.
Wow. Now, why?
Because there was tension all the way through, like Psycho, but different kind of tension. But it was also a love story too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I liked it, and I liked the ending. I really liked the ending. I would like those.
You're right. You like the ambiguous ending.
Yeah.
Which is why you like movies like Sideways so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So after your research, you can't find
there.
it.
It's
Okay.
there.
So
She's back.
Yeah.
A favorite Hitchcock. I like. I have a couple of them.
Northwest. With
Yeah,
Cary Grant.
I love that one. To Catch a Thief.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Another
that
Cary
one.
Grant.
The Birds. The Birds never grows. That never goes old. That was good.
Yeah.
So did you guys
Tied
see
it in with Brewster McCloud?
That's right.
I saw that one on a date.
Which one? The Birds?
The Birds, and it was kind of like a blind date, double date. Mary's boyfriend was in the Navy, and they were on leave. And his buddy came with him. And this was so funny because...
How long ago was this blind date?
Long time.
Probably 1963.
It wasn't a couple of years ago then, huh?
It was, 1963.
That's on the Birds game.
And we were still in high school.
So was
and they I remember the date sitting next to me, covering his eyes and squishing down in the seat because he was scared of these birds. And I'm thinking, oh
He's
my
a keeper.
God.
Yeah. So that
And
ties
he's in the
into
Navy.
Did you tie? So you're going to tie that in with your worst date movie?
But yeah, that
Okay.
would be that
All
would
right.
be good.
Okay, your favorite movie soundtrack?
Oh man.
Oh, well, you know mine.
The Blues Brothers
Oh, that's
Well, there's two.
and Adventures in Babysitting,
There you go.
which is kind of a tough one because I'm not sure it was officially released as a soundtrack, but you like the music in the movie.
I think it was,
Mhm.
but it's hard to find.
Yeah. Which then leads me to you. That began your love of Albert Collins because
And the blues,
That's
yeah.
right, because he appeared in the club scene.
Yeah, Billy Branch is in that.
Right. But you had no idea about Albert Collins until that
No.
movie. Yeah.
No. And so I introduced him to you.
Well, of course. Well, I actually saw the movie first because Mom took us to go see it at the Belmont Theater, which is now a Planet Granite. Yeah. So, what's your favorite soundtrack?
Well, I have a bunch. Well, Flashdance,
Yeah.
Footloose.
Yeah. Well, you definitely love Footloose because we had that in the car for many years.
Yeah.
All these are better soundtracks than movies too.
Yeah. No, those two.
Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
I remember that you guys having that on 8-track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. In fact, I just watched that the other day.
Saturday Night Fever.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so which one do you like better, Saturday Night Fever, or Staying Alive?
Well, they're totally different. Staying Alive was good because of the music, and I like the dancing.
It's a horrible movie.
It is. It is. I mean, the acting in it.
Do you know who directed Staying Alive?
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, he makes a cameo in the very beginning.
Yeah.
He turns around.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's funny because Hitchcock always used to do that.
Right.
In all his movies,
Uh-huh.
he always was in the beginning of it.
That's right. And do you know why it was always in the beginning?
No, why?
He didn't want the plot to be basically go askew because people
'Cause
would say,
he-
hey, it's Hitchcock, and then he was
Oh.
focused in the plot. So he wanted to get himself out of the way early,
Interesting.
and then you can progress the plot. Okay, what's your favorite gangster or mafia movie?
Oh, probably The Godfather.
Besides The Godfather.
Yeah.
Dad, you chime in whenever you want.
I know nothing.
You're just
How
drinking.
How about Casino?
Do you really like Casino?
I like that.
So why does that? Because you used to enjoy
it
going to Reno?
had
and
a lot of various things going on
Mhm.
in that movie.
Was that Vegas? That was Vegas or Tahoe?
Vegas.
It's-
Okay.
That which would bring you to the Rat Pack that did the movie.
Ocean's 11?
Yeah, but it wasn't called
Yeah.
Was it called
Yeah.
the original?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a gang type movie in
Yeah.
that. But that was
They
a
weren't
good.
necessarily
That
fil-
was good.
That's more of a heist movie, but yeah.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
From the
That,
West.
So you
That was
didn't
good.
like any of the old gangster movies from the 30s and 40s?
okay, I'd watch them, but I have no idea what the names of the movies were.
Yeah, with George Raft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
James
those-
Cagney.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other guy, the heavy set guy.
Edward G. Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you,
So you did that play in high school too, huh?
Yeah.
That you
Voices.
were
I did
definitely
voice.
from the South.
Voiceovers.
Yeah.
He played the Wicked Witch of the West
Right.
and Edward G. Robinson.
Right.
Okay, your favorite guilty pleasure movie?
So does that mean one that you'd watch over and over and over?
No, it means you'd be slightly embarrassed to admit you like this movie, like Staying Alive,
Oh, okay.
where most people consider it a terrible movie, but you like it anyway.
Well, probably the Twilight series.
Really? That's a good one. Yeah, those are good.
I mean, I really, the first one, when I went to see it in the show, I was kind of disappointed because the acting was,
And you liked all the books.
and I love the books. And I thought, oh, this isn't. But then, I kept seeing them over and over and over all the way through the end. So I guess you would say that one.
Mhm.
Would
The
be,
Twilight series.
Yeah.
And
Which
Dad,
was the one with Stallone and Dolly Parton?
Rhinestone.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that was really a dumb movie.
Yeah, but it was funny.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. And there was one, I like lines. There was
Yeah.
one line there when Stallone was talking to Luke and called him puke.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really good.
Good. The branch didn't fall too far of the tree. I think that was my number one guilty pleasure movie. So.
Well, in that case, I want to change my vote.
To what? Them? All right. So movie. So you like endings. What would you name a movie you would change the ending for?
Oh, there's probably 3/4 of the movies.
Okay. Well, think of one.
I can't. But I didn't watch a lot of movies.
Right.
But Sideways was perfect.
Okay.
You were talking about the birds,
Mm-hmm.
and you said there were, 2 or 3 different
There
endings?
was the main ending was supposed to be that the birds, instead of just being at the house, like calm, they were supposed to be all away. They drive away, and then they see the birds on the
Right.
Golden Gate Bridge. But it was too expensive to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, one of my guilty pleasure movies, and your mother's too,
Romancing the Stone.
when she's in the East,
Yeah.
is Romancing the Stone.
But that's not even. I mean, that's considered a good movie.
Oh, it's a great movie,
Yeah.
and especially with the writer's arc and the character
Mm-hmm.
arc. But the sequel,
Jewel
I
of the
didn't
Nile.
like. Yeah, Jewel of the Nile.
Yeah.
And I really didn't like the ending.
Of Jewel of the Nile?
Yeah.
So how would you have changed the ending in Jewel of the Nile?
Probably left them separated,
Instead
so
of
you
together.
could possibly have a third
Mhm.
movie of them getting back together
Right.
again.
Which then, I wonder, and I talked about this with other people in other episodes. I wonder if War of the Roses was supposed to be an extension of those two movies.
I never thought about that. That's
Because
it could
DeVito's
be.
in it too.
Yeah.
So.
I couldn't stand that movie.
Well, it was good for about the first half hour.
It's funny because a lot of younger people that are on the podcast like it. So it's just maybe they're coming from a different place. So what movie would you change the ending for?
Oh, there are a few out there, but I can't think of them.
It was this was actually a tough one because most of the time they do enough research where they're not going to screw up the ending because they've already tested it. They know what people are
The
gonna
ones
see.
that I don't like is like if the person dies
Mm-hmm.
or goes away and they don't, say if it was a love story and they don't get together.
Have you read my books?
There was one, it was kind of like a sci-fi horror movie with the guy that plays...
This is damn good movie memories.
Yeah, he played the
he's the wolf, not the wolf guy, but
Lon Chaney.
in the Avengers. Who was he with his
Wolverine?
hands? The
Cecil-
Wolverine.
He's not in the Avengers.
No.
Hermione Gingle.
You mean X-Men?
X-Men. Okay. He's in this movie where
40 years. I've got up with this.
he's trying to destroy Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Bingo.
I forget what the name of the movie was, but he goes after there's this curse, and the woman that he falls in love with, her brother is there, and they're trying to save him, and there's the Wolfman and the.
I think it was Claude Balls.
Anyway, at the end, they fall in love, but she dies, and I thought, oh, that's too bad the way that ended. It was,
How would you have changed it?
That they rode off in the sunset.
So you would rather have an ambiguous ending. You would rather have it tied up in a bow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And most people would go in your mother's direction. I like it open-ended so that you can look at it and say, well, it could have been this, it could have been this, or it could have been that. And you don't know.
You don't know. What's your favorite sequel? And it doesn't have to be the second movie. It could be the 5th movie in a series or whatever. I mean,
Probably Star Wars.
so you like?
I like all of them.
Okay.
Actually, well, the first 3, and then they had, I think, 2 or 3 after that.
the 3 prequels.
Yeah, the only one that I got afterwards was when the kid became Darth Vader, and then how he turned into Darth Vader. And
So
then,
of the original sequels, do you like Empire or Return of the Jedi better?
Empire probably.
That's the common.
But I like the last one that they just came out
Yeah.
with. That one's good. I
The
bought
Force
that
Awakens?
one. Yeah, Force Awakens. Oh, and that's an ending. I didn't. One of the ones where he dies.
Han?
Han. Yeah.
Well, I guess according to...
He did?
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Spoiler.
Yeah, according to legend, he wanted to die in Return of the Jedi, and so they kind of kept him around. So that wasn't as, I don't know, upsetting. It was kind of, you could see it coming.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're going to do with Carrie Fisher now, because she was supposed to be
Yeah.
in the next 2 movies.
Right.
So that, I don't know, they're going to deal with that.
When I come back, that is going to be.
That's right.
Yeah.
Godfather. Has
Godfather
to be the
2?
Godfather.
Yeah.
Yes. That was as good as one, if not better.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Favorite, this should be very nice for Mom.
Oh, gosh.
Your favorite holiday movie.
Well, I have favorites.
That's fine. What are your favorites?
White Christmas is the first.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I have to play that as I put up the tree every year. Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life. Miracle on 34th Street, the original.
Yeah.
And then there's one. It's kind of a Christmassy, but it goes on. It's called Come to the Stable with Loretta Young, and I can't think of her name. That plays the co-star, and those are good.
Those are your favorites.
Yeah.
So why White Christmas?
Why
is that your
Christmas?
ultimate? Yeah.
I don't know. It's just the songs, the music in it. It's just a holiday type thing.
And you don't care about holidays or Christmas.
See how wrong you are?
What's your favorite holiday?
Fiddler on the Roof.
No, it isn't.
That's a Hanukkah one.
Is that even a holiday movie?
No.
Well, it is for me.
Right. Okay, what's your favorite holiday movie, Dad?
That was it.
Okay, next.
You
Movie.
didn't like Scrooge?
I never saw Scrooge.
Really?
Oh.
Who played in Scrooge? Bill Murray?
Well, there
was
was-
that Bill Murray?
no,
or-
there
Well,
was
that's Scrooge, duh.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of ones the old ones. I don't know what the
Alistair
names
Sim
of the
played probably the most famous Christmas
the
Carol.
first one. Yeah.
Well, the favorite one around here is The Christmas Story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
Okay, movies you hate but everyone else seems to love. Where it doesn't have to be critically acclaimed, but everyone tells you like, oh, you got to see it, and then you saw it, and it's like, I don't get it. I didn't like it.
Most of the Academy Award winners.
Would you tell the folks that I'm leaving?
Yeah.
But any movie that Kelly recommends.
Kelly's my sister. Really? Sorry, she doesn't listen anyway.
No, I don't. It's funny when Mick LaSalle when we used to get the Chronicle, and he used to
He's
do
the movie
the
reviewer for the San Francisco Chronicle.
Most of the ones that he loved, I thought they were horrible.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't like them. So, but to be specific, I can't think of one. I can't think of any.
All right, we'll go to the next question.
Yeah.
Movies that you think are too long. Where
well,
they could have been good if they were cut down by however many minutes.
Well, I don't know. Lawrence of Arabia, that was a long movie.
Yeah.
Did
you still enjoy it?
Yeah, I guess when I saw that in the movie,
What about Gone with the Wind?
Yeah, that didn't bother me. That one was okay.
Your guys' house has so many noises in it. I can't believe it.
You got-
Like, go anywhere else, it's like nonstop. It's silence. Here, you have that clock. You have phones. You have, I don't know what that is, but
That's our musical clock.
really?
Yes.
Oh my god. I'm leaving this all in. Okay, so Lawrence of Arabia. What's some of the most quotable movies?
Oh, quotable movies that they've made a quote in that you
No,
would
so like,
remember?
well, yeah. So you go through the movies, you can just quote them line by line. So like for mine, it's like A Christmas Story or Airplane or things like that, where you can.
Probably Romancing the Stone.
Right.
There one where Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Supposedly his cousin is taking off.
Ira. Yeah.
And he's taking off on the boat, and Danny DeVito's still standing there, and he's going, Ira, come back. When are you coming back? Soon. He goes, soon. And then Danny DeVito goes, how soon? Real soon.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Or Joan Wilder.
Yeah.
The Joan Wilder.
The Joan Wilder.
We watched a lot of Romancing the Stone in our house. Your favorite underdog movie?
Underdog.
It doesn't have to be a sports movie, but someone that isn't expected to do as well as they do.
Yeah.
I mean, the typical one would be like Rocky or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's got to be other movies.
And Rocky, that was good because I don't like boxing and things like that. And I remember when your dad said, we have to go see this movie, and I thought, oh no, I don't want to see. But I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that would be a good one.
But other ones that
usually ones that where the kid probably gets harassed all the time, and then
so he's bullied, and then
he steps up to the plate.
Do that.
I just went out for popcorn.
Oh, good. Okay, name a movie that's too long for you.
Most of them?
Really? What's your perfect length of movie?
Under 2 hours.
Okay.
Probably
90 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your most quotable movie? Mom picked Romancing the Stone.
That's a good one.
Or a movie that just movie quotes come nonstop. You can't think of it.
No.
Your favorite underdog movie?
Is that an animal movie?
Yeah. It could be the superhero.
Underdog.
Doesn't have to be a sports movie.
No, nothing comes to mind. I didn't, as I told you before, I didn't watch a lot.
I know.
of
I got my love of movies from Mom. I got my love of sports from you. And your favorite romantic movie?
Oh God, there's so many.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Harry.
Wait a minute.
Harry meets Sally.
I'm on.
Harry meets Sally.
Comes from the east to the west. King Kong.
Which
Now,
one?
think about this.
I know.
Think about this.
The Gorilla and Fade.
Absolutely. And she didn't like him at first,
But
but then she fell for him later on.
Actually, yes and no. In the Fay Wray version, not really. She really doesn't fall for him. The Jessica Lange version, that's a little different. They kind of redid it.
Never saw it.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, Uncle Daryl.
I'm sorry.
That's one that I wish the ending when they
hadn't
killed
King Kong. Yeah, I agree.
I cried on that one.
All right.
Well, there's more.
Well, yeah.
The best movies made from books.
Well, I was going to do that in my next episode.
Oh, did I spoil something?
It doesn't matter. It's all getting edited out anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, parents.
Okay, our pleasure.
All
That
right.
was fun.
Oh, you're talking for me again.
Yeah.
I had fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And wish to do this again sometime.
Yeah. Maybe we can do it when there's no noises going off from your 42 million clocks. Thanks, guys. All right, I'm waiting for all the clocks to go off because it's now almost 7 o'clock. So
That's
we'll
my
see.
pacemaker.
It is.
No, you'll hear it in the background.
That's great. Okay. Ding, ding. Okay, so let's go to the next question. This is, I'll go with Mom first. What is your favorite black and white movie?
Okay, well, I have a few.
Okay, you can do as much as you want.
Okay.
Because Dad won't have any.
No, I think he has.
Did you peek at my list?
Maybe.
Okay, The Ghost and Mrs. Muir.
That's a great movie. Yeah, with
Gene Tierney.
Yes.
And Rex
Harrison.
Yeah.
Who was in My Fair Lady, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was a great
And Dr.
movie.
Doolittle.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He was. You saw that one.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Okay. How did you know that then?
He just knew that he was in there.
I peeked at her list.
Oh, okay.
The Day the Earth Stood Still, the original.
Yeah.
That
Definitely.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Naturally, It's a Wonderful Life.
Uh-huh.
Arsenic and Old Lace.
Yep.
Cary Grant.
Mhm.
Oh, that was a great one. Harvey.
Yeah, about the rabbit.
Yeah, and that was what's his name? The
James
actor.
Stewart.
James Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who played Harvey? I don't know. I don't know if anyone put Harvey.
There wasn't. Well, Harvey never talked.
I know.
Okay.
He was a painting, wasn't he?
No, he was the make-believe rabbit.
Right, but when it wasn't at the end, it was a painting.
Oh, yeah.
That spoiler alert. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Frankenstein, but the one with Gene Wilder.
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Okay.
The Young Frankenstein.
Yeah,
I like
that's a great one because it was a parody. It was based on the three classic Frankenstein's movies. So it was Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, and then Son of Frankenstein. And they kind of borrowed more from Son of Frankenstein. So with the guy that had the wooden arm, that was in the third one. Okay. So that's why they got that. But
so
Gene Hackman had a great role as the blind guy when.
And then the guy who played Frankenstein, who was
Peter Boyle.
He was great.
Yeah,
he was great.
Everyone was good in that movie.
Yeah.
All right, what is your favorites, Dad?
Well, I don't have a favorite black and white movie. I remember my parents telling me about the black.
Oh,
and
I'm
whites.
sure.
Yeah.
By the way, do you guys remember? I thought when you guys were growing up. Now, I might have been slow as a child, so you probably just kind of brushed it off.
We didn't want to bring that
up. But I thought, because movies were in black and white, when you guys were growing up, that you guys lived in black and white.
Really?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Well, so television the same way.
Well, yeah. So, because I watched Leave It to Beaver, and I watched all that stuff, and everything was in black and white. So I just figured there was no color until later in life.
So my black and white.
You seem really concerned, Mom.
No, well, that's...
I know. You should have put me in special classes, I guess.
We did.
Oh, okay.
You just don't remember because you were slow.
There you go. Look how far I've come.
This is no reflection on you.
Okay.
The Bad Seed.
Yeah, thanks.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And...
you saw that in the movies?
I think I saw that on TV.
I think it came out in 59, I want to say.
Here.
Oh, I think it's before that.
Right?
Yeah.
1956.
A Bad Seed?
Yeah,
Okay.
because that was that's going on to another
Okay, another
topic.
subject.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
it has nothing to do with your slowness.
Thank you.
that's
That was
it.
it? You didn't think Psycho?
Well, I had to take a nap after coming up.
Oh, good. So you didn't... I figured Psycho would be on your list, but...
I forgot about Psycho.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yep.
Oh, there are more like Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
And
Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte.
Yeah. I never saw
those-
that. I'm still waiting to watch that one.
That was a
but,
great one.
did you guys end up watching the documentary with... That's not a
No,
documentary,
I
but
know,
the
no.
Betty Davis, Joan Crawford.
No, I never did.
That's a lot of fun because then you'll want to go back and watch
Their
Whatever Happened to
movies.
Baby Jane.
Yeah.
All right. What is the first rated R movie you remember seeing?
Yeah. Well, that's Dad Stole It.
Okay.
I think it was The Bad Seed.
Okay.
But in our time, they didn't rate movies,
Right.
really. I mean, they had the, oh gosh, well,
Or Advisory?
the religious one where, they kind of had...
Rosemary's Baby?
No. The ratings of the movies. If you were...
Oh, there's your clock.
There we go. No, for example, for the Catholics, they were the council rated movies, things like that. But they never put them on the movies.
Oh, really?
They kind of just gave.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we never had that.
So, just for history, the very first rated R movie was I forgot what it was. I mentioned it on an earlier podcast, but it started in '68.
Oh.
So late '68 was when they officially gave.
an R
Was
rating.
It was a Jim Brown movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it because of language?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been. I said it on that episode.
So what does the R stand for?
Restricted.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was for romance.
No.
Oh, okay.
We haven't got there yet.
Okay.
Actually, no. I think we already did that one. All right.
And then they had.
So what's the one you thought of?
Well, Lolita.
Yeah, I think they went. So a lot of these, I think they went back and rated. So
Yeah. So those are
that's the
only
first
ones
one
I
that
can
was
think of.
risque that you remember seeing.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
There were sister actors, and one of them acted in a movie that I think got an R rating
Okay.
in the beginning. Do you? Can't remember their
I think
name.
Rosemary's Baby was one of the first R-rated movies.
That was in the 60s, though.
Right. Well, 68 would have been.
Okay, yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah.
The book was better.
And then Rosemary's Baby. Well, we'll get to that. Okay, what is your favorite Oscar-winning movie? We'll start with Dad.
Well, what was your R-rated movie?
What?
Your-
R rated?
Yeah. What was the
I
first
did-
one I remember
I-
seeing?
Oh, he didn't have one.
You don't have one.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
It's probably The Exorcist.
I could never go to a movie like that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oscar winning.
Yeah, what was your
Okay.
favorite Oscar-winning movie?
Well, I have a few. Ben-Hur with Charlton Heston.
Yep.
Never saw it.
Lord of the Rings.
Mhm.
I think it was the one Return of the Kings.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Uh-huh.
Shakespeare in Love.
You watched that?
I like that movie. Yeah. The Sting.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Star Wars.
That didn't win an Oscar.
It was on the Oscar. It got Oscars though.
It was nominated, but it didn't win.
Okay. And Gigi
Yeah, the musical.
and Cabaret.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really
so
good.
those.
So Star Wars was 77, and what won that year? I think the Deer... No. Oh, yeah, I think the Deer Hunter won that year. Or maybe it was All the President's Men. I think it was All the President's Men. It was a loaded year that year. So I know who did the research and who didn't. So who did...
She stole all of mine.
Oh,
I
sure.
did not.
Yeah. So who did you...
What I want to know is,
Yeah.
what is Oscar's last name?
I don't know. Okay, so what was your favorite Oscar-winning movie?
I don't watch Oscar-winning movies.
Okay, but if you did...
But The Sting is one of my favorites.
Yeah? You saw...
Which she stole from.
I know. But you saw Rocky in the theater. And that won in 70s.
That's true. I really like Rocky.
Yeah. Okay, what is the worst remake in your opinion?
Okay.
Ooh, can I go first?
Go ahead.
Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The Longest Yard.
That's the worst
Worst
remake.
remake?
Yeah.
So you hated the Adam Sandler version.
Absolutely.
I think we saw it in the theater together. So.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
a remake. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because the original was with Burt
Which
Reynolds.
was good. I didn't even know they remade it.
It was a
Wow.
great movie, the original. Okay, so what is your worst? Do you have any more?
Do I get points or
No,
rated or-
good job.
Okay, well, jeez.
Okay, Hairspray. The second one with John Travolta.
yeah.
No way. that
You
was,
like the original.
Yeah. And the Willy Wonka with Johnny Depp.
And you love Johnny Depp.
And I
too.
love Johnny Depp, but no, the original is the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, those are good. Okay, what are your favorite remakes? Go ahead, Mom.
That one was I don't have any.
Really? I had a bunch for
I
those.
couldn't think of. I mean, you probably would name them off, and I'd probably say yeah, but I can't.
Where
think
you
of any.
liked it as much or better?
Yeah. Gosh, I really can't think of anything.
So the one I remember is I really like the Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy better than Jerry Lewis. I just don't like Jerry Lewis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
what did you come up with, Dad?
Well, I looked at her list.
And so you have nothing?
No, actually, King Kong.
Which the 76 one?
Yeah.
You like that better than the original?
Yes.
Wow.
I like the 8 better.
Well, their
Well,
technology.
Well, see, yeah.
Well, you probably like Jessica Lange more than Fay Wray.
I liked them both.
Okay. Well, Fay Wray really doesn't fall for King Kong like Jessica Lange does.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
kind of becomes more sympathetic towards him. Where Fay Wray just screams the whole time. So, yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Your favorite 80s movie songs?
Okay, I had a bunch of those.
So I'll have to add these in and I'll play them for you.
Because I have a bunch too that I probably can't even remember. But
Okay.
Staying Alive.
So, meaning...
From Staying Alive.
Okay.
Staying
It was
Alive.
also in Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
You're one of the few people that actually like the movie Staying Alive.
I thought it was great.
Yeah. Do you know who directed that? He has a cameo in the beginning.
Yeah. Shoot, I can remember him walking down the street.
Yeah,
now.
exactly. He was big in the 80s.
Oh, I can't.
Sylvester Stallone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had this fur jacket.
Yeah,
on, I
exactly.
remember.
And then he kind of turns to the camera. Okay, so you like Staying Alive?
Okay. Nothing's gonna stop us now.
From Mannequin.
Yeah. Against All Odds. Take a look at me now.
Yep.
Power of Love
From Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. Time of My Life from Dirty Dancing.
Yep.
Eye of the Tiger
From Rocky.
from Rocky. You Forget About Me from the Breakfast Club.
Yep.
And Ghostbusters.
Yeah, the original.
Yeah.
So you heard
Yeah.
the episode where I compared the Huey Lewis song to Ghostbusters and how he ripped them off and everything.
Yes.
So you had given me a list before of ones I had missed, and so I'm going to try to remember. So you'd like When the Going Gets Tough
Yes.
from
yes.
Jewel of the Nile?
Jewel of the Nile.
There are a couple other ones that you mentioned that I left out just because it was getting too long. One I forgot was the Tina Turner song from Mad Max.
Yeah. I can't think of the name.
Yes,
of it.
it's the Beyond Thunderdome one.
Yeah.
All right, well, Dad,
None.
what's your favorite '80s movie songs?
None.
None. Well, yeah, there is one. You love the Babysitting Blues.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's not a
that's true.
traditional '80s movie song.
No.
But all right, I'll start with Dad on this one. What's your
Okay.
favorite sports movie?
Well, you know what my favorite.
I don't. With The Longest Yard.
No.
Okay.
For Love of the Game.
Okay, which is the Kevin Costner. So why do you? Let's get into this. Why do you enjoy For Love of the Game that much? Because to most people haven't either seen it or they just blew it off.
For 2 reasons.
Okay.
Vin Scully
Yeah.
stole the show
As the announcer.
as the announcer.
Uh-huh.
Being the poetic genius that he is as
Mm-hmm.
a baseball announcer. And the baseball scenes were great.
Yeah.
That's-
That's why you like it. Yeah. So what do you think the love story takes away from the movie at all?
No, because if you had too much Vinny and you had too many baseball scenes, it would take away from. It would be too much.
Okay.
So it was the other side of
Because it is kind of a long movie because of it. Yeah. Okay. So that's a good one.
And Hoosiers, of course.
You love Hoosiers.
And
Both.
I like the music in that. too.
Yeah. It's well done. Okay. You like that, and you didn't like The Natural?
No, because then it was kind of a spoof.
The Natural?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it wasn't real.
Well, of course not. It's a fantasy movie.
Well, of course.
Okay.
Well, that's why it's.
Okay. Well, you really think a 39-year-old's going to throw a perfect game?
Well, do you really think a cover of a baseball is going to.
Well, actually, Bryce Harper just did it.
No, a little patch of it.
Okay, but yeah.
No.
Okay.
And lightning's going to hit.
Well, you like Rocky. You think
Pick
Rocky
me a good one, Bobby.
Okay. Yeah. Pick me a good one. Okay, Mom. Which one? What's your favorite
Well,
sports movie?
I had The Natural
Okay.
and Rocky, all the Rockies.
Yep.
Well, not all the Rockies.
The first couple.
Yeah. Field of Dreams
Yep.
and The Cutting Edge. It was
Oh,
about
yeah.
the ice skating
Yeah.
and the guy who was a hockey ice.
D.B.
ice
Sweeney.
hockey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one.
That's a good one. That's
Yeah.
that you picked the.
Well, in Bull Durham.
Bull Durham is arguably one of the best sports movies in general. And the reason Bull Durham works so well is because, unlike any other sports movie, there is no payoff game at the end. It's because every sports movie is kind of cliche. You build up, you have a tough season, you go your ups and downs, and then you have that one game. Bull Durham doesn't have that because Bull Durham is exactly like a baseball season. It's just kind of like the day in, day out of a baseball season. I think that's why it stands the test of time. And the characters are great in that, even though Tim Robbins doesn't know how to throw.
Well, and the storyline not being in the major leagues but the minor leagues and how different the two leagues are.
Yep. Yeah. And how a career minor leaguer kind of keeps going through all that change.
Great last name.
Crash Davis. Yeah. Yeah. All right. What is your favorite heist film? Dad.
Sting.
That's a great one.
That's it?
Did you ever see the Sting 2 with Jackie Gleason? Yeah, I don't think it was that good.
I think I saw it. Obviously, it wasn't very good because
Well, how do you
I can't
compete
really
with?
remember it.
With Redford. And,
Oh, yeah.
However, what ties it all together is Robert Shaw playing Lonnegan.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
if you don't have a great villain, it's
Well,
not as good.
there were other characters in there just as good.
Yeah, all the not the henchmen, but the people that they hired to basically pull off this thing are all good.
Yeah. So that was on my list.
Okay.
And Tower Heist with Ben Stiller.
Oh yeah, and Eddie Murphy. That was Eddie
Yeah.
Murphy's last good movie.
Yeah. I like that one.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
All right, Dad, we'll start with you. Since you are an author, you have 3 books, which I will promote at the end. Let's talk about your favorite book-to-movie adaptation. You should have a lot. Because
I have 3.
okay, well, that's a lot. I
Which
guess.
is a lot for me.
I know.
Okay.
For someone who is a writer, you sure don't write a lot you don't get a lot of picks.
Well, you don't see a lot of movies.
I know. Why are you on this then?
Yeah, who
Who invited you?
because you made me.
Oh yeah, I made you. Yeah. I'm thank you for helping your slow son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad seed.
Yeah. Okay, what is your
I forgot. To Kill a Mockingbird,
Of course.
Unbroken,
Which one is that?
Okay, Unbroken is about the World War II pilot
Okay.
who was shot down. The plane was shot down. They drifted in a raft for something like 7 days, and then the Japanese picked him up, tortured him for months or years, and he finally, when the war was over, he finally came back. And
Did this just come out?
No, it's
It was out quite a while ago.
And it was called Unbroken.
Hildebrand. I think it's Hildebrand is
Okay.
the author, and the book is fabulous, but the movie is very good. It's a very good adaptation to it.
Okay, so it came out in 2014, so it's relatively new, and it was directed by Angelina Jolie.
Oh, wow.
I still like it. And the other one, by the same author, Seabiscuit.
Yeah, those are really well done. We will be doing favorite true stories, so that'll probably be your pick
Okay.
of true stories, unless you don't. How about The Natural? So, all right. What is
Oh,
your?
you like Ray.
Yeah, Ray was great. Yeah.
Mine, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah. So
Those were good. Now, I
you like
like
the Swedish version?
The Swedish
Yeah.
version. I had seen those first, and I read all the books. And they really kind of followed. It was hard getting into the books in the beginning because it had a lot of Swedish politics about all the different names and everything. But once you got into it, I really enjoyed
the
them.
story.
Yeah. So I thought that those were good.
Okay.
I love the Twilight series.
Books, yeah.
Well,
You and Stephanie need to hang out.
I read all the Twilights,
Yeah.
and so they did a pretty good job. I remember seeing when I first saw the first Twilight, I kind of thought, oh, I don't know. It was okay, but then it grew on me.
Yeah.
And all the rest of them were good.
Uh-huh.
Harry Potter, all the Harry
Potters.
all the Harry Potter, and Lord of the Rings, because I read all of those too.
Uh-huh.
I thought
Those are all good.
Yeah.
Okay, what are your favorite cult classic movie, and do you understand the definition of what a cult classic is? Okay, you're nodding.
Why don't you tell the computer?
Nah, I already did this episode, so. All right.
I gave you a cult movie.
Go ahead. What?
I gave it to you literally.
Oh, Brewster McCloud?
There you go.
Yeah, but you hate that movie, so. Yeah. Well, so what is your favorite cult classic movie?
I don't have one except Brewster McCloud.
But you hate the movie, so that's.
Yep, turned out to be a cult. That's what
most people haven't even heard of it. I mean, that's the thing.
Oh, that's not true.
Well, Robert Altman directed it. If you know, Robert Altman directed MASH, so he was a pretty famous director. And then the main character, the guy who's fascinated with birds, is Bud Cort, who played Harold in Harold and Maude. So Harold and Maude is one of the best cult classic movies. That's a really good one. Okay, let's go to Mom.
Yes, I have Harold and
Take it.
Maude.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that in the show.
And
when
I'm
it
sure
first
you
came
and you
out.
probably loved the soundtrack because
It was
all
great.
Cat Stevens.
Yeah. Soylent Green with Charlton
Oh,
Heston.
really?
I
That's
like
a
that.
good. It was a book too.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I think I saw that with my dad. And at the end, we were so blown away of how the ending was. Yeah. Blade Runner.
You really like Blade Runner?
That was different.
Well, you like sci-fi. A lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I tried to get into it. I just couldn't get it. It seemed confusing to me.
Oh,
But you like.
No.
You like both.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The first one, they came out with another one.
Another version.
Okay. But yeah. So those were.
Those are your cult classics.
Yeah.
Good ones. All right, we'll start with Mom on this one. What is your favorite musical?
Oh, there's a lot, and
Okay.
I named a few, but there's a lot more.
Okay.
Bye Bye Birdie.
Mm-hmm.
I love that one. Blue Hawaii
With Elvis.
Mm-hmm. Can Frank Sinatra and Shirley MacLaine. Brigadoon.
Yep.
Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. Easter Parade.
My dad's asleep now.
West Side Story. Chicago. Burlesque.
Oh, you like Burlesque?
I like the music and I like the dancing
Okay,
in it. I mean, the story's kind of
stupid. Yeah.
yeah, and
Take
the
a commercial
acting
break.
and the acting is
We'll do a musical break.
And there's tons more, but that probably
Those are your favorite.
I like those. Yeah.
Okay, Dad. What is your one musical?
Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh,
Do you really like
that
Fiddler on the Roof?
one. That was a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What is your favorite food movie and or food scene in a movie? Go ahead, Mom.
Well, I like the 100-Foot Journey.
Okay, and I never heard of this, so explain what this movie's about.
Helen Mirren is in that.
Mirren, yeah.
Mirren.
Mm-hmm.
It takes place there in France, I believe, and she has this wonderful restaurant, and across the street, these family from India buy the place and make their restaurant.
Okay.
So there's this competition, but she's this uppity woman and thinks, oh my God, here. And then I think it was the daughter of the Indian family meets either her nephew or somebody that works in her restaurant. And they get together and they try to get the families together. Anyway, it has a happy ending at the end.
Good.
But it's neat about the company. You saw the movie with me.
It was great.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It was great.
Yeah.
Chocolate, naturally.
Chocolat.
Chocolat.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. Oh, yeah. The Mistress of Spices.
Never heard of this.
2005. This is takes place in San Francisco, and it's another Indian family from India, and she has this spice store, and she's also kind of clairvoyant in a way that her spices, she can predict different things and anyway, it's a love story too because this guy comes in.
Okay.
Anyway, that one. And A Passion for Food and Other Delicacies with Penelope Cruz. And that one's about, she's married to this guy who is into food, and she's kind of in the background, and she does everything for him, and then she finds him with another woman. So she flies off to San Francisco, and she is something about she makes this prayer to this it's like a pearl or something, to this undersea goddess, which gives her this great ability to make wonderful foods and things. And she lands this job as a food, this is almost like the food things on TV, the Master Chef and all that. Anyway, she gets this program on TV, and she's this beautiful woman, and so anyway, that's the story.
Okay, so those are your favorite movies
with food.
With food. What do you have? I'll go into the next question later. But
I lost my appetite.
what is your favorite food movie if you still have it?
The recipe for murder becomes more palatable. It was seasoned with just cause.
Okay, what is your favorite food movie?
Animal House.
That's your favorite food scene.
That's my favorite food movie because the only one I can remember.
The food fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I played that. So, what is your favorite food scene, Mom?
Favorite food scene?
Yeah, scene in a movie that involves food. I mean, you gave a lot, so
in 10 words or less.
Yeah.
Funny. Yeah, I think that one's a good one.
Animal House.
Animal House. And the cafeteria. Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys like to eat when you're in the movie theater?
Popcorn.
That's a universal thing.
Yeah.
What do you?
Pastrami sandwiches.
Yeah. You're that person.
Yes. I remember.
God, what's that smell?
Yes, he would bring it in, and it reeked of onions and pastrami, and you could hear, the wrapping stuff, unwrapping the paper, and then him eating the. Yes.
Would you bring your own can of Coke too?
Yes.
No, Mom would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did that for a while. We used to bring in McDonald's.
I'm so ashamed.
But the pastrami's were the worst.
Oh, God.
Because you could really smell. You have the people turning around and what is that smell?
Guy would turn around, kind of a bite.
Yeah. That's why I don't go to the movies with you guys anymore. What's your favorite candy to eat, or what was your favorite candy to eat when you were a kid?
They used to, what were they called?
Juju beads.
No, Those were hard, and they get stuck in your teeth. These were like called, I think they were flips or something like that. They came in a tube. They were chocolate.
Yeah, and they had little sparkles.
Little sprinkles on the top.
Okay.
Those were good.
Were there just chocolate things?
Chocolate,
Okay.
yeah.
So what was your go?
It was like a roid back
Okay.
then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What were you eating as a kid at the movie theater?
I don't like popcorn, so it was probably
Before
like
you went
that.
to the
I
deli.
like the whips, the red whips.
yeah. Right.
Oh, red vines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask your mother how to say licorice.
No. How do you say
Licorice.
licorice? That makes sense. We could get into this, but you worked in a candy factory for how long?
1 week.
Okay.
Broke out in a massive zits.
Yeah.
OD'd on chocolate. And never didn't eat chocolate for years.
So how old were you?
I was 42.
Yeah.
I was 16 or 17.
Okay. Well, maybe that's the reason you don't eat candy anymore. So, okay. And then this was a bonus question. If you guys don't have an answer, you don't have an answer. But what's the funniest thing you ever saw happen at a movie theater?
Happen at a movie theater.
I mean, not the movie itself, but like something happened at the movie theater. Well, actually, you were involved in something with the fire.
Yeah. We didn't know it was a fire, though.
Yeah.
It was just the alarm went off.
Yeah.
And everybody panicked.
Except you.
I kept saying, just, Kelly was with me.
Yeah.
And a friend
my
of hers.
sister,
And
yeah.
she was, the friend, she was scared. She was crying.
Yeah.
And there was another group. And they took off. I mean, they pushed people out of the way. And this poor girl who was in a wheelchair.
She pushed her out of the way?
Well, she got in front of her and took off,
God.
and got out of the...
So she's basically George from Seinfeld when the burning building
Yes,
was happening. Yeah.
yes. And so anyway, I just said, just go slow. We'll get out.
Yeah.
We'll be fine. But we didn't know if it was a bomb or
Sure,
what.
especially
because
nowadays.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got out the exit, and then we saw some of the other doors were all open. And the ushers and stuff were coming out, and they says, well, no, it was okay. It was the popcorn machine, the burnt popcorn. That's what, so you can go back in if you want. So the three of us went back in and saw the rest of the show.
Another person already
the
sped
others,
off.
They left. They left. They were in their car and out.
Oh, God. How about you?
Which is why I don't go to the movie.
Obviously. It was a burnt pastrami sandwich.
Oh, man.
I still have half of it. If you
I can smell. I didn't mention this on the other one. This wasn't anything crazy, but it was right after the shooting in Colorado. Remember at the Dark Knight? And maybe a couple months later, Jack Reacher came out. And so there's the intro scene at Jack Reacher as the sniper, at the I think it was the Pirates Stadium in Pittsburgh. That's the opening scene. So as we're watching this, a guy walks in with his backpack, and it's in the middle of the movie. And normally I wouldn't pay attention, but my eyes are laser focused on this guy the whole time. And I'm thinking to myself, if he does anything, do I duck? Do I jump on him? And so I couldn't focus on the movie for about a half an hour, and then he just left. So he could have worked there or something like that. But, you shouldn't have to think about things like that now, but you do, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's a sign of the time.
It is. Okay, so let's get into more gun stuff. What's your favorite buddy cop movie?
You want to go first?
Oh, no.
Because then I don't want you to say I stole from you.
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, that is a common...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best. What about that? Do you remember watching any of the sequels, or you just like the first one?
The sequels were pretty good, but the first one was the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, they were all good. That's it?
What, you want more?
You don't have any more?
Car 54, Where Are You?
That's a TV show.
No, they made a movie.
They did make
Fred Gwynn.
I know he was in the original show, but yeah.
In the movie.
Okay. Well, Dragnet.
Yeah, I love
That was a
Dragnet.
good one.
Yeah, you took me to see that.
Yeah. Dirty Harry.
Is it really a buddy cop movie?
And
Well,
the
they
one,
had the gal.
the one that he had Tyne Daly.
Yeah, that's true. I
That
think
was
that
his
was-
partner because his first partner got shot, and then
Is that one called Sudden Impact? Or
No.
is it's the one after that.
There was.
Tight.
I think it was
no.
the first one.
No, the first one's with.
Make My Day.
No, okay. So the first one, I forgot his name. You'd know him if you saw him. I think he's Hispanic. Like or maybe he's Italian. But he is. He ends up getting shot by the Zodiac guy.
Okay.
Tyne Daly came in the third one. The second
okay.
one was when all those. It was the vigilante cops start killing everyone, and then the third one, Tyne Daly's in it, and she ends up dying
Yeah.
at the end. But that was a good one.
But
And
that one-
then all of a sudden you had Sandra Locke in every Clint Eastwood movie at that point.
Yeah.
The fourth one, and people confuse it. So I love Dirty Harry. So the very first one is when he fire 6 shots or only 5? That's that famous line.
Oh, okay.
But Make My Day actually came in the fourth one,
Oh, okay.
which maybe that one was set an impact, and that's with Sandra Locke. But they think it's all in the same Dirty Harry movie,
it's
but they're
not.
2 separate films. But I'll give you that one. Yes, the one with Tyne Daly. Yes.
That one's good. The Charlie Chan movies.
Yeah, they're with Number One Son.
Number One
and-
Son.
yeah,
I figured that's kind of.
So here's some interesting. So Key Luke played Number One Son, and he was a Japanese American. So that's a big deal because most of the people that played Charlie Chan were not. One guy was Swedish, I think. It was Walter Oland, and another guy was just a white guy.
Yeah.
But Number One Son was Japanese American. He ended up playing.
Kato.
He ended up playing Kato and the Green Hornet in one of those. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
How did I know that?
I don't know. Also, speaking of the Green Hornet, Bruce Lee played Kato in the TV version. But did you ever watch Kung Fu?
Yeah.
I think Key Luke was the old, whoever the Grand Master or whatever. That was Key Luke too.
Oh.
So yeah,
Huh.
those are good. There's.
Sherlock Holmes with Basil Rathbone.
Yeah, I
and
love all
his,
this.
Watson.
Who played Watson? What was his name? He was.
I don't remember what it is.
But he's really good. He's kind of like a bumbling. Because if you read the book version, Watson's actually the genius behind everything, but not so much in the.
Yeah.
And those are fun though because they're only like an hour long. And,
Yeah.
Nigel Bruce. His name's Nigel Bruce. Yeah.
Demolition Man. With Sylvester Stallone and Sandra Bullock as his sidekick.
Yeah, because Wesley Snipes is the bad guy.
Yes.
Do you ever know what the 2 seashells mean? Did you ever figure out what that meant?
With the toilet.
Yeah.
And then the latest one, I think, they're not really cops, but Guardian of the Galaxy 2. Because now they've become...
Okay, you're getting too loose here, but since you're my mom, I'll give you...
Yeah, but they've become these guardians, which are kind of like cops in outer space, and, they do good, and they're all buddies, and so anyway, that was stretching it. But
if you weren't my mom, I wouldn't give it to you, but yes. You can,
she's out there.
Yeah, but that's fair.
So,
Did you see the latest Guardians?
Oh, that was the best.
Yeah.
That was better than the first one.
And the first one was good.
Yeah.
Okay. You already said Lethal Weapon. All right. Last question for now, because this has got to end sometime.
It started with black and white.
I know. We're finally in the color era at this point. What is your favorite movie animal? The movie doesn't have to be specifically about animals, but just whatever animal's in the movie. What's your favorite? We'll start with Dad.
Up to
Good. That's
Seabiscuit.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know what I went through with the lawn recently.
Yeah. What you eliminated a mole.
Flash Gordon and the Mole People.
It was Superman and the Mole People.
No,
Really?
Flash Gordon.
But Superman, I thought had to mole people
No,
too.
I don't think
There
so.
was one episode.
Okay.
Was there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
That was TV.
These are serials. These are not real movies.
Well, no, they were
They were,
all right.
they were
Okay.
serial movies.
Okay.
black and white.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, we're going in the dark ages here. Flash Gordon and the Mole People.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a good one. I remember that episode.
Did you guys get those on reel to reel?
Yes, Dad did.
Yeah, when you worked for
In
the
fact, I
restaurant.
remember him showing what he had over when you had your house in Redwood Shores one night, and he had the reels of Flash Gordon.
This is back in the 30s.
What?
No, I know it was in the 70s.
Yes,
Yeah.
76.
Yeah.
Sure, the flicks. And,
Yeah.
Okay. What,
Okay. Hildago.
I never heard of this.
That
but,
one's
yeah.
with Viggo
Mortensen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was about, he's a Pony Express agent,
Uh-huh.
and he has this horse that is, what do they call him? Oh, God, the Indians, the Apache.
Mhm.
The kind of horse, I forget what it is. Anyway, takes them to Egypt or some place in the desert.
Mhm.
They have this huge race from people from all over, and it was his horse running this, and
Got it.
it was really good.
Okay.
Okay, Electric Horseman with
Robert Redford.
Robert Redford,
Uh-huh.
and I thought that was
So you like horses?
Yeah.
Yeah. War Horse.
Yeah.
The Horse Whisperer.
Oh, you
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
like that.
The book and the
Book. Uh-huh.
War Horse.
Yep, that's a newer one.
Racing Stripes.
Never heard of this.
This one was about a zebra
Mm-hmm.
who
You're the only one to pick a zebra.
thinks he's a racehorse, and so
Ah.
they.
When did you see this?
Oh gosh, I forget what year it
Okay.
was made, and the girl and her father, she trains it. She says they have this bet that he will race in the race that they're going to have, and he winds up winning.
What your mother
then
doesn't
just-
know is that it was a white horse.
And
that
they
painted
split-
black
yeah,
stripes
yeah.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah, by Adidas. Yeah.
And then the classics, Lassie,
Uh-huh.
the originals, and National Velvet.
Yeah, but actually, and I'm sure you know this, what's the common theme between the first Lassie and National Velvet?
Elizabeth Taylor.
Very good. So Elizabeth Taylor.
Not that I've seen the movie.
I think her second movie was Lassie Come Home.
Come Home.
Yeah. So, did you like the Black Stallion?
I watched it, but I don't.
Mickey
I don't
Rooney?
remember.
I think it was a
yeah, I
Disney
don't
movie.
remember it.
Yeah.
I don't like movies where the animals
Nobody does.
die. Yeah, like Turner and
And Hooch.
Hooch. I like that,
Mhm.
but even though he dies,
Yeah.
he has the pups.
Yeah.
The pups are there. at the
Well, they always
end,
have
so-
to do something.
Yeah,
That's-
so
well,
it's-
that's like Old Yeller, right? Didn't Old Yeller... Old Yeller has... doesn't he have a son or something like that? Or a...
Yeah, young yellow.
Yeah.
I forget.
I tell you, movie... That picks up. That's why you can't do that. It's like dealing with a kid. Who's slow here? Or, no, I got your genes. My dad's ruffling his paper, so you're going to get all that. Yeah.
Oh, gee.
Where's the helmet? So you didn't like any dog
He
movies?
is a bad seed.
Yeah.
I can't remember him. I remember taking All Dogs Go to Heaven.
That's a cartoon.
Was that a cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll do animated movie.
Yeah. No, I can't think of any
Any dog movies,
dog movies.
which is good because you came with the non-traditional.
Yeah,
ones.
yeah, mostly. Well, mostly they were horses,
Yeah.
except for Lassie. And
What about Benji?
that was good. That
Yeah.
was good.
They're cheesy movies, but Benji was
Yeah.
and it was a mutt too. You didn't
Yeah.
see many of those
Yeah.
in films. All right, guys.
Okay.
Good job.
That's good.
We'll get more with you some other time if my dad will be awake. Well, I want to thank Mom for actually doing some research. So good job, Mom.
I beg your pardon. I had a list.
Yeah, you were crumpling it up. You're like Uncle Daryl does his list. My God. Thanks,
Make
guys.
sure you put that on.
Oh, I will. This I won't cut out.
All right. Special thanks to my parents again special thanks to my mom for preparing because my dad didn't prepare at all, and that's the way he likes it. Anyway, you should still support his book endeavors and go check out his books on Amazon. When the Enemy Is You, The Will to Kill, and The Ticker. Check them all out on Amazon or ebooks. All right, until next week, this is Brian signing off. If you enjoyed this podcast and are an iTunes user, please do the show a favor and head on over to the official iTunes page for Damn Good Movie Memories. Be sure to leave a rating and a review. This will allow the show to appear higher in the algorithm and spread the joy of this podcast to the masses. If you are not an iTunes user, you can still listen and subscribe on Podbean at damngoodmoviememories.podbean.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook under our Damn Good Movie Memories page. You can also listen to a limited number of episodes on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode and be sure to tune in next week for an all-new episode of Damn Good Movie Memories.